Hey guys, Robbie Falk here from 247 Sports, the Starkville Daily News. I'm here at Duty Noble Field. Tough night to be a Mississippi State fan tonight. Cheering on the Talkin Dawgs, you're cheering on the basketball Bulldogs, and two tough losses for the Bulldogs on the diamond and on the court. First, we'll start with baseball tonight here at Duty Noble Field. Mississippi State was just bad in every area in this ball game until later on in the ball game. The first 6 or 7 innings, there was really nothing that Mississippi State was able to do right in this game. Struggled on the defensive end. They had 4 errors in the game. The middle innings pitching-wise for Mississippi State were not good. And offensively, the Bulldogs had 1 hit in the first 7 innings, I think, for Mississippi State. 6 or 7 innings. You fall 11-5 in this ball game against Louisiana Monroe. One of the worst non-conference losses that we've seen for Mississippi State in the Chris Lemonis era. The Bulldogs just continue to struggle consistently pitching the baseball, and they haven't been good on the defensive end as well. I think they have 10 or 11 errors now on the season for Mississippi State. And pitching-wise, they're walking too many batters. They're putting guys on base. They haven't been able to pitch effectively. Really, one of the bright spots that we've seen so far pitching for Mississippi State has been the freshmen. Bradley Lofton, I thought, came out on Tuesday night and really pitched it well for a true freshman. Gave up 1 unearned run in the first inning on a 2-out error from Lane Forsythe. After that, didn't give anything else up. Pitched 4 innings, gave up that 1 unearned run, gave up a couple of hits, and walked 4 batters. He scattered those walks and really kind of lost a little bit of that control in the 4th inning, but I thought really composed himself well. The fastball was sitting 92-94. He had a changeup that was really difficult for UL Monroe to pick up and hit, and he struck out 8 batters. You can't ask for much more for a true freshman in his first start than to do what Bradley Lofton was able to do. So really no concerns with him moving forward, and he could be a guy that really helps you out on the weekends if he continues to progress. And I think could end up being a weekend starter for Mississippi State if things continue in the current trend for him. After that, though, State really struggled to pitch. In the middle innings, in the 5th and 6th inning, to be exact, State really struggled. Tyson Harden came in there, only got 1 out, and the wind is starting to pick up here. Only got 1 out and gave up, I think, 4 hits, 4 runs, got a strikeout, but just struggled there when he came in the ball game. And then Tyler Davis came in as well, and it was more of the same from him. He got 2/3 of an inning. He gave up 3 or 4 runs as well, and the game got away from Mississippi State from there. The freshman that came in after that, I thought Evan Sierre did a really good job. He pitched 3 innings, scattered 3 hits, gave up 1 earned run, and the 2 unearned runs that were added on to that came on an error in the outfield on Kellum Clark and Dakota Jordan colliding, going for the 3rd out, and that opened up the game even more. But after that, Sierre really settled in, had 5 strikeouts in 3 innings. I think if you're looking at positives, you look at these freshmen. Bradley Lofton's teammate Brock Tapper came in and pitched a scoreless frame in the 9th inning. So your freshmen come in there and they throw 8 innings and only give up 2 earned runs. So, the freshmen have been good. We're going to see Drangelo Sanjay pitch on Wednesday against Louisiana Monroe, so you get a chance to see another talented freshman. But we talked to Chris Lemonis post-game, and he said, it might be time to throw some of those guys in the fire. So far, we've seen a lot from those freshmen that you really like. The makeup's a little different from those guys. They've come in, they've attacked the batters. They haven't really nibbled around the plate. You're not seeing a bunch of walks. So it might be time for a lot of those guys to get a little more innings under their belt. Logan Forsythe had a good frame on Friday against VMI for Mississippi State. So, this is a talented freshman group, and you're not getting a ton from some of these older guys. It might be time for Mississippi State to turn to some of the freshmen, and we'll see if that's the case moving forward. Hitting-wise, the State was so good in that first series against VMI, but it was really kind of a quiet night for those hitters for Mississippi State. They didn't get their second hit until the 7th inning, I think, 7th or 8th inning, whenever Luke Hancock had a 2-run home run. He scored 5 runs. It might have been the 8th. You scored 5 runs, I think, in the last couple of innings, but that's too late. You got down 11-0 in the ball game. The ball game was virtually over. Tried to make a little noise late, but you never really were able to stay in the ball game. So very disappointing loss for Mississippi State. You're 2-2 now, 2-2, and this is not what you want to see from Mississippi State a year after having a losing record. So it's concerning to a lot of people. Chris Lemonis was frustrated, obviously, after the game, and you can see his thoughts on our site. We have a video, we have a transcript up with all of his thoughts from the game. So Bulldogs have to get back after it on Wednesday. They're going to have to show some fight. And Chris Lemonis, I asked him after the game, what do you want to see from your guys on Wednesday? And he wants to see fight, and that's what they got to see. You got enough veterans on this team to try to rally the troops here. I mean, it's still very early in the season, but there's a lot of concerns with this team too. I mean, you're seeing some of the same issues as you did last year with walking batters. Defense is a problem right now. You've had errors in the infield. You struggled to catch guys stealing. VMI ran all over Mississippi State the other day. So there's some obvious concerns with this team. The offense was not good on Tuesday, but there's also some optimism. We'll see if Mississippi State's able to kind of get things put back together here, but you really have to win on Wednesday, and you have to have a good weekend too against Arizona State, or this thing's really going to start unraveling for you early on in the season. So that's where things stand with baseball. Now moving over to basketball, we all knew it was going to be a tough ball game for Mississippi State going to Columbia, Missouri to take on the Missouri Tigers. The Tigers have played really well at home. State held them in check at Mississippi State, were able to win that ball game by 11 points and give them probably their worst offensive performance of the year. They held them again under 70 points, and that was kind of the key number for Mississippi State. To win a ball game, you're going to have to keep a team under 70 points. This isn't an offense that's going to be able to stay in the ball game in a shootout. Missouri can score in bunches. They average over 80 points a game. They had 66, I think, 66, 67, whatever it was, on Tuesday night, and State fell in overtime in a heartbreaker by 2 points to the Tigers, and had an opportunity. You have a lead there in the final possession. You're up by 1 point. The Tigers hit 2 huge three-pointers in their final 2 possessions, and that's how the game was decided. And that's a team that can really shoot it. But that's a tough one for the Bulldogs. That was going to be a quad 1 opportunity for them. Still have a chance here down the stretch, these last 3 ball games, but State really needs to win all 3. You got Texas A&M coming into the hump on Saturday. You got South Carolina coming to the hump next week, and then Vanderbilt. If you're able to win all 3 of those games, your chances of making the NCAA tournament are really, really high. I think 9 wins in the SEC, 9-9 is probably going to get Mississippi State in. At that point, you're going to have another quad 1 win with Texas A&M. We'll see. It's probably going to be quad 2 with Vanderbilt. I don't think they're going to be able to get in that quad 1 area, but we'll see about that. But that's really where State stands right now. I mean, they have to win these next 3 games. Winning 2 of them could get them in, but it's going to be difficult. Right now, they're hanging around on the right side of the bubble, but we'll just have to see if they're able to stay there. But I thought State played okay. There were some moments there where they could have played better. There were some things that they could have done a better job with. Turnovers were obviously a huge issue for Mississippi State at times. They went on a large scoring drought from the field, 7 or 8 minutes where they couldn't score from the field. They missed some free throws, but I thought Tolu Smith hit some big ones down the stretch to tie things up and send it to overtime before Mississippi State fell on that one. But had a chance, and that's all you can ask. In a game like that, all you can ask is to have a chance, and that's what Mississippi State had down the stretch. This is a team that's playing really well, even if they've lost 2 out of 3 or whatever it was. They lost a tough one to Kentucky. They lost a tough one to Missouri. They're trying to figure out ways to win these tough games, and just came up short. I don't think that anybody can be really upset with Mississippi State's effort in front of 15,000 plus at Missouri against a team that's been really good this year at home. So just a tough loss for State, but now the margin of error is almost 0 for the Bulldogs in these final 3 games. As of this, Texas A&M was leading Tennessee, had a chance to win that ball game, so that's probably the second best team in the SEC right now, the way that A&M's playing. That's going to be a tough one coming up this weekend for the Bulldogs. So the basketball Bulldogs are playing fairly well, but hanging on for their tournament lives here. The women's basketball team is the same way. With a win on Thursday against Arkansas for the women, State should be in the tournament on that side of things. So we'll see how that goes for the Bulldogs after they got a huge win over Alabama, a quad one victory over the Tide, 60-45 in that one. And they'll have a chance to get themselves into the NCAA tournament probably this week with a win there. So we'll see if the men and the women can both get back to the tournament for the first time, I think, since 2017 or 2018, whenever that was the last time the men made it. That would be a huge accomplishment for these two first-year coaches. And you got a coach here, Chris Lemonis, that's obviously dealing with a lot of pressure right now. The Bulldogs have got to find a way to get things back going. Fans here have high expectations, as high as expectations as any sport on campus. And the Bulldogs are going to have to figure it out and find a way to get back to their prominence. Still a long way to go, and I feel like there's a lot of talent on this team to turn things around for the Bulldogs. But right now, there are a lot of problems with this team, pitching, defensively, and even on the offensive side of things. They did not play well offensively tonight. So a lot of things to work on for Chris Lemonis and his team, and they got to get right back to it on Wednesday. So I want to remind you guys to continue to subscribe if you haven't to this YouTube channel. I appreciate all the support on the channel that you guys give. We're going to try to get back to the live chat whenever we can. It's just been so busy with a crossover season that we're having right now with Mississippi State baseball and basketball, and I got high school sports, but we'll get back to that soon. But I appreciate you guys tuning in to this stuff. Come check us out over at 247 Sports. We have a lot of great content going up right now with baseball and basketball. Paul Jones and myself, we tag team basketball. We have 3 guys that are reporting on baseball. We have the best baseball coverage in Mississippi State, the best basketball coverage. Of course, Paul and Steve Robertson are tag teaming football recruiting. So much going on over there. We got a lot of conversation on the message boards. Everything's hopping. We have a record number of members for Mississippi State site. So just some great things going on. Go check us out over there. And if you're a Starkville native or beyond, come check us out at the Starkville Daily News. We're still producing great content over there, myself and Danny P. Smith. We've been with the Starkville Daily News. I've been with Danny for almost 10 years now at the Starkville Daily, and we love covering the city of Starkville and surrounding area too in high school sports. So if you're interested in that, come subscribe to the Starkville Daily or pick up a paper and support local journalism, because it's been so tough on newspapers as things have evolved over the years and after COVID. I mean, things have been really difficult, but we're still pumping out some great content for the local readers too. So if you're in Starkville, support us, support local journalism, go pick up a paper. And I appreciate you guys. All right, I'm signing off. I'm one of the last people to leave this place, but there's not many better places to be during baseball season than right here. I love being here. I love watching baseball here, whether Mississippi State's winning or losing. It's just an incredible place to watch baseball. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week as always, and I'll check you down the road.